Lynx review! What's up guys? Morgan here from T4 Bros, and this is my Lynx right here. I've got almost 3,000 miles on it, so I thought it's a good time to finally make a review on it. And so this is what this video is going to be about, and I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, and comment down below which wheel I should review next. Anyways, let's get right into it. Said you love me till my heart decays, 'cause my darling changed her mind. Talks my heart on This video will be split into 3 categories. The specs of the Lynx, what I like about it, and what I dislike about it. Let's get right into it with the specs. The Lynx by Librachem is advertised with a 2700 watt-hour battery, although in reality it's actually only 2592 watt-hours. EUC manufacturers calculate their battery capacities with the nominal voltage as 3.75 volts, when in reality it's only 3.6 volts. Thank you, Conrado, for this information. With that battery, if you are averaging 30 or so miles per hour, you could probably get 50 to 70 miles of range. When I'm riding, keep in mind I weigh only 120 pounds, I'm always pushing it at 50 plus miles per hour and get barely 30 miles on one charge. Top speed wise, I've managed to hit 62 miles per hour screen speed once in optimal conditions before hitting the 80% PWM beeps. But on my usual commutes, I hit the 80% PWM beeps at 50 to 55 miles per hour. So realistically, you will almost never be going 60 miles per hour on it. The Lynx is equipped with a 3200 watt-hour motor, which allows the Lynx to stay light compared to other wheels with 4000 watt motors, which are heavier. But somehow, it's still an incredible torque monster. Talking about weight, this is one of the Lynx's big selling points. With its magnesium alloy body and that lighter motor, it allows it to be one of the lightest electric unicycles in its class. It weighs in at 90.7 pounds with pads, which is a pound lighter than its direct competitor, the Extreme Bull Griffin. Alright, enough with the specs. Now let's talk about what I like with it. Unlike the Griffin, the Lynx is an incredibly durable wheel. I've crashed a countless amount of times with it, at both high and low speeds, and the wheel never experienced more than just cosmetic damage. I have heard many people complain about the Lynx's handle placement, but personally they've never gotten in the way of my riding, and I enjoy their added protective qualities and how nice they are for lifting the wheel up a set of stairs. The Lynx's suspension is a big plus for me as well. At 90 millimeters of travel, it's enough suspension for most urban and off-road riding, though sometimes I do wish I had more. I love setting my suspension with high rebound, which allows me to jump with it easily. Another big pro of the suspension is that even in rainy weather, it still works fine, unlike Begode suspension, and in the 3,000 miles that I've ridden this wheel, I've never had to do any maintenance on it. Talking about rain, the Lynx is an incredibly water-resistant wheel. I've ridden it through flooded roads, almost to the point of submerging it, and nothing is ever broken on it. Just the beeper stops working because it gets clogged with water. But no worries, it works fine again after it dries. I've also not had any bearing issues. I've even heard of people riding Lynx through snow and never getting a rusty bearing. Coming from the Extreme with the EX30 headlight, the Lynx's bright headlight is very welcome. I now rarely need to bring a flashlight with me on night rides, though I do wish it had a cutoff angle like the NOSFET Apex, and the screws holding the headlight in tend to get loose easily if you rotate the headlight often. At first I didn't like Librachem because their firmware makes the wheel feel unresponsive and sloppy, but after some tuning and getting used to it, I've been enjoying it a lot, especially how good the Lynx can brake. As I mentioned earlier, the Lynx is a very light wheel for its class, which, as a light person, I enjoy. It makes the wheel very nimble and zippy, with very good braking, while still being able to outperform most wheels on the market. Now to the bad, what I don't like with the Lynx. The Lynx's weight and design is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allows the Lynx to be nimble and easy to whip around, but on the other hand, many people complain that it's very unstable at high speeds. I honestly didn't really agree with those people at first, and thought the Lynx was fine, but after returning from my trip to China, where I was riding the incredibly stable Begode Blitz Pro, the Lynx's center of gravity feels too high, and I can now see why people call it unstable. Especially when braking, the Lynx is prone to wobbles. I almost never wobble when braking, but the few times I have were on the Lynx. Another reason why I think the Lynx is more prone to wobbles than other wheels is because many Lynxes come out of the box with a motor that isn't perfectly aligned with the rest of the wheel. When I compared my Lynx to two others, one of them had it perfectly straight whilst the others crooked. This has been an ongoing problem with Lynxes, and it seems like Librachem doesn't really know how to fix the issue. The crooked motor, combined with a frame that is easily prone to flexing, causes the Lynx's motor to rub on the battery boxes when doing sharp turns. And no, this isn't just my Lynx that does it. It's a common issue. Thankfully, it's not a problematic thing, but it certainly doesn't inspire confidence when your wheel is making a weird rubbing and clicking sounds every time you do a sharp high-speed turn. Another complaint that I have with the Lynx, and honestly of every electric unicycle that isn't made by either Begode or Extreme Bull, is that the pedals suck. It's these dumb plastic nubs that barely provide any grip. It was fine at first because I had the toe clamp that kept my foot in place while braking, but when that broke, I could feel my foot slipping every time I was braking. Thankfully, I had a friend provide me these little 3D printed add-ons that I screwed grub screws into and fastened to the pedals, which has helped my grip, though it's not on par with stock Begode pedals. So keep in mind when buying a Lynx that you will probably have to spend upwards of $300 on new pedals if you want adequate grip. No, this isn't the wheel itself, but it comes with the wheel. The charger, it sucks. Like straight up, Librachem probably tried finding the cheapest charger they could because after only a couple of months of riding, the charger stopped working entirely. Thankfully, someone in my community gave me their old Lynx charger, but that one for some reason isn't calibrated correctly and only charges my wheel to 148 volts. It also makes a weird fan sound whenever I plug it in at first. I'm either incredibly unlucky to have gotten two crappy chargers, or it's just that Lynx chargers suck. The trolley handle, when working, is pretty awesome, but the screws tend to loosen up on it, and once they fall out, it's incredibly difficult to put them back in. As well as losing screws easily, the trolley handle tends to not slide smoothly and be difficult to push back in after a couple miles of riding, probably because of the dust and dirt getting in. My Begode Extremes trolley handle feels like a quality, durable, and very usable trolley handle in comparison. My last complaint that I have is its price. It costs on average between $4,000 and $3,600, which for the same price you could get wheels like the GT Pro Plus, which albeit being heavier can go much faster and much farther.
Hey, what's up guys, this is Aaron. Just wanted to say that I love the Lynx, great wheel, lots of power, really agile, and great suspension. Only complaints are it's a little wobbly, and then also the stock pedals, they could use a little more grip, but great wheel otherwise.
This has been my Lynx review. I would recommend this wheel to anyone looking to get a low maintenance, durable electric unicycle for city commuting or off-roading. The Lynx is honestly a pretty good jack of all trades. It's very good for street riding, very good at off-roading, and just a fun, nimble-ish wheel overall. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time.
Control the air.